Hey, howdy, hey, happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome.
Hello. Happy
hello,
Saturday.
hello.
Happy Saturday.
Hello to everybody out there watching. We want to welcome in our special guest tonight, Aaron Tapia. Aaron is a bird trainer at Animal Kingdom, and he is here joining us tonight on Now That's Disney's Disney Night Live. He's a first-time guest, and we are so excited to have Aaron here with us.
Yes, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
It's great to see you. Yeah, definitely. We have Don here. We have Kimberly. We have myself and Aaron, and together we are going to try to give you what we feel is, a really good, fun show. It's
Hey,
going to be
Tiana. Hey, Mary. Hey, hand pink waving. I'm not sure who that is.
Somebody from YouTube.
Awesome.
AJ,
Love
is
it.
that Anthony? AJ 46172. I don't know. Kim, are you able to operate the comments? Is that possible?
Of course, honey.
Can you? Thanks. Because then I could focus on the show.
Mhm.
So we're going to dive into our topic, but we want to go over a couple things first. Aaron, do you have any favorite streaming Disney station? Do you listen to any kind of streaming Disney music station?
I don't.
You don't?
Weirdly enough, I do sing. Not weirdly
Okay.
that I sing, but the fact that I sing, I don't really listen to a lot of music. I listen to short songs that I can sing to, and literally that's my drive. And I listen to different podcasts and things like that. But I'm not always listening or have a set station or something that I listen to.
Okay. All right. Well, we have.
He probably hears Disney music all day working in Disney.
Well, he has.
Listen, we
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Enough.
But he has the best background music of all the parks. It's the Tree of Life background music, and so we have a sponsor, dmagicworld.com, and they are a 24/7 streaming Disney music station. They have a parks channel and they have a movie music channel. And hey, Steve, so I listen to them quite often. Hello, everybody. And
There it is.
we have the ability to request anything we want to hear from the Parks Music channel.
Okay.
And you can let D Magic World know, you're in Animal Kingdom, but say you want to listen to music from Epcot, you just let them know and they'll put that on there. The other cool thing about dmagicworld.com is that every Thursday and Sunday at 2 p.m. they play our shows. So aside from the music, they do an hour-long episodes of ours, and they also have a tab at the top of the screen. Now That's Disney, that takes you to our Facebook group. So that's our sponsor, D Magic World. How cool, right?
Aaron,
That's so cool.
if you like listening to yourself, then in the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, when I send them the episode and they upload it,
David will send it. We'll send you a link, or we'll let you know. It is kind of fun to go on there at 2 o'clock. It's 1 or 2 on a Sunday, and then you're like, oh wait, that's me.
Because it plays it. That's so cool.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty cool. We love it. I just sent 3 new episodes to them yesterday, and then I also uploaded a podcast episode of ours. So we also take the show and put it out as a podcast, and it gets uploaded to every possible podcast destination for people's listening pleasure. I also want to chat real quick about our giveaway. I don't know if there's anybody here tonight who's looking forward to the giveaway, but we do have a giveaway, which is, and this is mine. This is not the one that you'd be getting if you win. This is mine to keep, but it is a Scentsy Black Panther Marvel wall fan. This is not like a candle. It has no flame. It's a wall fan that you plug in. And it also has pods that go in there, and all different scents you can get. But if you win this tonight, we will also send you the pods that go with it, which are the Marvel 9 Realms scent. Both, again, brand new in a box. This is mine. I keep this one because Black Panther, Wakanda forever.
Look at Don. Don's
got a pod.
The Marvel 9 Realms scent is actually really good. It's it's kind of fruity. It's got a fruity, fresh and manly and going on at the same time, if that makes sense. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. So you get a chance to win. And I'll tell you in a little while. I'm not going to tell you right now. I want you to hang out. I want you to talk to us in the comments, ask a lot of questions, and be part of the show. So we're going to tell you in a little while how you can enter to win. I also want to remind everybody again, real quick, that we are live. We are on all sorts of social media destinations. If you wouldn't mind sharing us out, giving us some love, some likes. If you don't like us, give us some thumbs down. We'll learn from it. But we have a great show planned here. We have Aaron with us. And so, Aaron, what we know about you is, and this is how Aaron and I got connected. In April, we were visiting Disney World, and we were in front of the okay, now I'm drawing a blank. It's Winged Encounters and Feather Friends in Flight. So the one in front of the tree is
Winged Encounters.
Winged Encounters, right? Okay. And hello, good evening, Valerie. And I posted a picture on Instagram, and it's Aaron's in it, and he sees it and he responds, and we started chatting. So here he is because he was in the photo. And
I took that picture.
That's from my phone. I took it too. We both took the same photo. Except mine came out a little bit better, and I edited it super nicely.
There you go.
So we chatted, and here Aaron is. So Aaron, you are a bird trainer at Animal Kingdom in Walt Disney World.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Which there's got to be some backstory. How do you become like a bird trainer? Tell us about you. And
Yeah.
That's like a dream job.
Oh yeah, I get that all the time. Walk through the park,
right?
And walking with birds, and they're like, "That's a dream." And it honestly is. I was a dream for me to want to join the shows and the training at Animal Kingdom years ago. I've been there for 4 years now, at Animal Kingdom. And how you get started in that? Honestly, a lot of we get guests that come up after shows, and I interact with so many different types of people, and that's kind of like my favorite thing about it is sharing our birds and what I love about them, but also getting to talk to these people that are coming to Disney World and specifically coming to Animal Kingdom. And here are people who want to be who are kind of inspired to jump into that route of like what I do, for instance. But it also like watch them like kind of grow and learn a little bit more from me. But Disney has a lot of different ways of working for them with the animals and friends, like for that matter. But for me, how I do what I do, I honestly didn't have to have much background really. I just needed a passion, a drive, and experience. And the animals have taught me so much in the 4 years, let alone the amazing team of trainers that I get to work with. But the birds are what kind of make me be the best that I can be and the best trainer that I can be. And I'm always learning. The science of behavior change and like what we focus on when our training is always different, right? And the animals are always going to be supplying different information to us as people. And since I don't speak bird and they don't speak human, I know it's crazy, but learning their behaviors and how that and how to interpret that has changed my outlook on just everything in general. But honestly, it's a super easy thing to get into when you go through the routes that you need to go to. And I'm always happy to tell anyone when I meet them kind of like how to get in and how to get going. I mean, a lot of people want school. They want to see, hey, do I have to have a degree and this? And for what I do? No, you don't have to have a degree. You just have to have a drive and a love for what we're doing and the animals and the magic kind of like a lot. Even though some of the trainers I work with are big Disney fans, that's okay.
Right. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
okay. They can still inspire people to help save these animals in wild places.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Kim is a first grade teacher. I think she's raising her hand.
Oh my goodness. She's like, all right, guys, raise your hands.
Yeah. She's like,
I have a question. So, Aaron, I can retire in like 7 years. So if I come there, I will have that drive. I will bring that drive. And
she
then,
does have a drive.
Yeah. So then I can come there and maybe you can help me get a job with you.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Come on, Kim.
Yeah, but
let's do it now.
riding.
But tell me though, Aaron, I just want to know really quick your backstory. So you get a job at Animal Kingdom, correct? Like what was your original job there?
Yeah, so that was my only job that I've had at Disney is working with the birds. I've done other bird shows at different theme parks around here in Orlando.
Oh, you did? Okay, so you had some experience with birds.
Correct. I've worked with animals for almost 10 years now. Started off in like the pet industry, like pet shop. Shout out to Polly's Pets in Universal City, Texas. Who the Housleys are.
Polly's Pets.
Polly's Pets. The Housley family who owns this pet shop is also huge Disney fans. Absolutely huge. So love them to death. But I started there and it was just an exotic pet shop. It's the only shop that they have, and they love Disney, and they've kind of made their pet shop into this like Disney-esque thing. But I got a lot of my experience starting there.
Oh, wow.
And had the opportunity of moving out here to Florida after working with animals in the pet industry, plus having my own like collection of reptiles at home. I used to be a herpetoculturalist, which is just a big word for like a collector of reptiles.
Wow.
And then did that at home for a couple of years, and like just collected and sold and stuff like that. Finally had the opportunity
really
of.
So T9.
Hi, T9.
T9
lives in Texas. Yeah.
T9 has a crazy snake that's been haunting her for a couple of days now. She's having dreams about the snake. It's in her yard.
Let's just say it's in her yard. But
T9, maybe you could hook up with Aaron after the show, and you could send him your snake, or he could come out and
I'll come get it. I'll relocate it.
Go back to. He's got to go back to Texas.
Aaron, the snake whisperer.
Yes, I do love snakes. I usually say to my
beautiful.
family, who my family's watching, so shout out to them back in San Antonio. But
hi, Aaron's
family.
Yeah.
We saw Jacob
Aaron,
Johnson
family.
said Aaron Tapia is the GOAT. So that's pretty awesome.
Yes, that's my childhood best friend.
Oh,
hi, Jacob. What's up?
Yes.
That's
we grew up
exciting.
together. Went to
Mom
school.
and Dad on here? Where's Mom and Dad?
I don't see them.
You're from
Mom and Dad, you better tune in.
Aaron,
Mhm. Yeah, they said they're watching on the phone. They're trying to get it up on my grandmother's television. So
Nice.
I know they're here watching, but hey, shout out to them because they got me
Shout
while I'm
out.
doing what I am. Hello.
See, that's
you
right.
started off in a pet store in Texas.
Yes.
Polly's Pets, and then you just decided to you're young. You look very young. So
Thank
you
you.
just decided what at like 18, you were just like, Mom and Dad, I'm moving to Disney. I'm just gonna I'm moving to Florida, and I'm just gonna go work at a theme park.
Yeah, so after the pet shop, I worked there for like 4 years, maybe 5. I was trying to do the math, and I just don't do math well, so I didn't get the right number, but I would say about 4 years. I also worked at this aquarium in San Antonio as well, where I got more experience and where I really started working with birds and training. And at that time, I didn't know what I was doing. I taught myself kind of like behavior, and when I look back at it now, I was like, what in the world was I doing? Like from doing what I do now to going back then, like in the thoughts, I'm like, oh my goodness. But you know what? That's experience to help me grow and start somewhere. So I did that for not even a year, maybe 9 months, and then had the opportunity of coming here to Florida. And I did. I literally sat down with my mom and I was like, Mom, here's this idea that I have to move. And I know that's like, we had conversations about that she wanted me to just be able to leave, like just go, because I'm a goal getter. I'm a dreamer. Like I have things in mind and I want to do them. And she wanted me to pursue that. And so once I finally sat down and actually having an opportunity and not just me like pulling something out of a hat, she was like, let's do it. How does this need to happen?
Yeah.
What do we need to do? I got a friend. I made a friend via social media who worked here in Florida for a company. And she is one of my best friends now. Shout out to Mallory. And
Hey, Mallory.
and she got me a job with a bird company here in Florida before I moved to Disney. And like, that was my goal. Like I didn't want to leave till I had a job. And once I had it, I did it. And I was doing stuff here. And it happened so fast. I was supposed to move in 2 weeks and I ended up being 1, and I just left. Literally just got up and left. It was crazy.
Wow.
But
that's quick.
I don't regret it because I have made so many more memories now doing stuff, especially what I do now is absolutely incredible. But that's kind of fell into place like that. Oh yeah, look who is this?
Yeah, so some of the photos are bigger. So while you talk, I'm gonna bring up some of the photos that we have. So this is you working with one of the macaws, and so there's a lot of them. Do you know them by name?
Every single one of them.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
We have about 93 individuals.
Wow.
8 different species you're able to see at winged encounters. This is one of our blue and golds. And I don't know who this is because the way that they're standing, but I can typically look at every one of them and I say ID them immediately. But each and every one of us have different ways of IDing each and every bird.
Right.
But yeah, every single one of them has names and I know them all.
So, and I'm really interested because before we went in April, and it was the first time that we saw the show in front of the Tree of Life, I watched The Magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom on Disney Plus, and episode 3 is titled Happy Birthday Gino, and they talk about Santiago and Emmett specifically, and they talk about the macaws. So what I didn't know is the macaws are free flight. They really aren't like they're not caged.
They do live in an aviary. So as you see in MODAK, Magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom, that is our aviary, and it's 4 massive flights, and 3 of them house the birds. We have 3 separate teams of animals that are able to fly. They each would ideally fly 2 times a day, 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. But they're huge. It's a huge metal building, and each flight, if you like put walls and you could live in it. That's how big they are. And so each flight has a changing number of around 25 to 28 animals right now. And we're able to move them around as we need, change up the numbers, give the birds breaks. Maybe they don't need to fly that day or this, that, and the other. Or if something medically happens, we can able to separate them to give them the proper care that they need for whatever reason that might be. So they do live in there, but once the doors open, they are free to go wherever they please.
Yeah, and they show that in the episode 3. So one of the panels is like open, and but they also show how they do the training where the people are in the lifts, like that the workers are in these giant lifts, and they call the macaws and they come from lift to lift. But then so the episode kind of focuses on Santiago and Emmett, and one of them did well and one of them didn't really do as well. So are they both doing the shows now? Are they like, how does that work? Like if they're not ready yet, like you have to keep enforcing the training and.
Yeah. So every animal has a job, just like we as people have jobs, and we might not be the best tool for that job. And that goes for the animals as well. So we have an idea for them, but we don't know until we try or test it out. And typically for our type of show, just to throw this in there, winged encounters, the behavior itself is just a massive A to B. So start from A and then they would fly to B, which would be out the Tree of Life. And then they leave Tree of Life going back to the aviary, ideally. So it's a massive A to B, half a mile flight for the birds to get from one point to the next. So over a mile round trip. That is the hardest behavior that is taught at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And
so, that's insane.
Get them to fly that far.
Yes. And I can go more into detail about it later, but it's why it is so hard is not how it's taught. It's because the animals have so many other valuable things in that park. They like to sit in the trees. They go stop at the Feathered Friends in Flight show. They could, I don't know, they can do whatever. So
they can ride Mount Everest. They can grab some popcorn, right? They can.
We have birds that go to Pandora all the time. We have birds that land in the life. So they can. There's so many things out there. So that's like me or anyone. You have a line of your favorite things, and of like I don't know, a half a mile that you have to run. And you have to just get to the other side, but you want to do all those other things, and you have to not do that.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. And so it's not that the birds don't have to come to show, like they have to do it. They don't, but there's so many other things in their flight path. So that's why it's very hard.
Right.
But yes, they do
I've
kind of would say, what was that?
Go ahead, Don.
Well, I've been in the park where I was over by Asia, and all of a sudden here comes the flock
Right.
going overhead,
Mm-hmm.
and half of them stop and roost.
Yeah, that happens. It happens.
Yeah. Hi, Leslie Tapia. How are you? Hi,
Yeah.
from
Hi, Mom.
Mop.
And they're just
Hi.
hanging out.
Hi, Mom and Pa, Nana.
Hello,
Yep,
everyone
that's-
from Texas.
That's
Thanks
all
for
of them
tuning
from
in,
Tanago,
guys.
Texas.
Are their wings clipped at all? No, they're not.
You can't
Okay,
clip
None of
them
our
though,
birds are
because
all
they
free
fly.
they're just
Yeah.
so well trained that they're not going to leave Animal Kingdom. None of them are
Yeah.
going to go rogue. They know where they want to go, and they
Well,
know where the food is, and they're going to come
Again,
back.
Yeah, and speaking of, sorry, my phone is flashing. Going on
That's okay.
the rogue aspect, I can touch on that real quick because it's something that a lot of people don't know or understand because we tell them, but they're just like, what? But I do want to say, like going back to the birds like flunking out, sometimes they do. We are like, hey, you're not the right tool for the job. They don't understand that, but we don't continue on with their training. But that doesn't mean that they're done for the rest of their life. They might go take a month, 2-month break off, and then we can try them again because we don't know until we try. And you know what? Maybe that break just allows them to grow up so they can get some more mature behaviors,
Wow.
which helps them in the long run sometimes. But out of those birds in Modak, Emmett is still flying.
Oh, yeah?
One of our stars, of course. And then Santiago has 2 siblings. Santiago is paired with Panchito and his sister, Catalina. Catalina is my favorite bird. They're both great. They're all 3 great green macaws, species found in Costa Rica. But Santiago and Panchito are no longer at Winged Encounters, but they are still working at an off-property location, and hopefully we'll be doing a show very soon somewhere. But Catalina, you can see her. She flies all the time. She's literally my favorite bird. But she flies in our flocks, so it's really
That's
cool
amazing.
to see.
I want to show. We have a couple of videos here, and Kim's going to try to take claim for this, but I'll say right off the bat, this is my video. Okay, so it's like 54 seconds long, but this is literally like in April when we were at Animal Kingdom as a family and watched this show. So take a second here to watch this.
Oh my goodness! Wow! Wow! Oh, look at the rainbow one. That one really wants his peanuts.
Baby macaws. They're just learning this behavior and they're about a year old, so it's absolutely awesome that they're coming out here. And we're going to see if they want to come down here and land on the music tree of life with us. Absolutely amazing that they're just moving around everywhere enjoying this beautiful.
Okay, so I can explain everything that was going on.
Yeah, you're like, hey, no, you're like trying to get them to like come in.
Okay, so this was April of this year or last year?
This year. Yeah, this year.
Okay.
So we got there on the 6th, 7th, 8th. That's like April 9th. Yeah.
Okay. So that was juniors. The flock's names are juniors, sophomores, and seniors. That does not mean anything. That is just their names. It doesn't mean how senior they are. You know what I mean? But the role that I was in right there, I was the director. So I have that little like necklace. That's our music fob. It has like 4 buttons on it, and I control the music. But I'm also making like executive calls for the behavior for the show. And then you hear the other trainer talking, and basically their presenter for that show, the T1 role that we call. But I'm talking about, we have brand new birds in the flock, some blue-throated macaws in that group that hadn't landed yet. All of them have landed but one. Last May, we started training 15 brand new birds into our show. And so most of them are actually in that juniors flock now. 3 military macaws, 3 green-winged macaws, and a whole bunch of blue-throated macaws. And so at that time, those blue throats hadn't landed yet. So you might have seen me like wave around, and that's a prompt or just offering information for those animals to come on down and join us. So when they're like, when you watch in Magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom, we're in the lifts, and the last lift is placed behind Island Mercantile, that gift shop in the Discovery Island area.
Yeah, like right across the way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so we basically just start like really high up with that man lift, and then slowly start going lower, lower, and lower. And then we just take it away, and then the birds finish the behavior on their own. So we still have 1 bird out of the 15 who hasn't landed yet out of the whole year of him being here. But we're not giving up yet. He's still working.
Oh,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are doing training before or after the park closes, or like?
Yeah. So when we were doing the training those babies, I actually was in this last group, those 15. I was a part of it. So I was up in that lift almost every day.
Wow.
Sometimes hours on end. I had got like this like bucket hat, kind of like Columbia fishing hat kind of thing.
You don't want to sunburn up there.
Oh, it was hot. Let me tell you, it was hot. But the only great part about it, besides watching the birds do what they do and like being a part of that training, is seeing really cool vantage points of Animal Kingdom. Such a beautiful park. But
yeah,
I was a part of it, and I was up there in that lift like literally almost every day. But we did training kind of like when the park opened ish. And then we would basically train during the day, like each flock, we would still put birds in there and try them out when we got to that approximation. So we would point us out. We would be up behind Island Mercantile. People could see us. But during the show, they're like, hey, there's this random guy. You can't really see my face, but you see the costume. And I'm wearing my bucket hat, and I'm just like, hey, with my harness on, like just
hello, Animal Kingdom.
Literally, don't want to see me up close because I am dripping in sweat just standing.
Right, yeah.
I remember specifically that day it was really hot, and our son was getting antsy.
He didn't want to watch
that spot that we were standing in was just beaming sun, and our son can't handle that, and he was like, come on, Mom, are you done? And I'm like, no, I'm not done. We're still watching.
No, I wanted to watch it. Yeah. And one of the macaws could have landed on his head and he would be uninterested.
Oh, my goodness.
We really want to watch the show. And I'm just going through a lot of the photos that we have here.
Wow, look at that.
Bald eagle.
Bald eagle, huh?
Yeah, that is Booker. Fun fact for this whole thing, we needed to train her to be like basically get her to step up on random people very quickly, because the old vice president of the park was leaving, and we had offered him a photo opportunity with one of the bald eagles. And it takes weeks for any of the trainers to start working these raptors. And so they basically had like her top trainers step her up onto a glove, and then we would put a glove on, and then they would transfer her to us voluntarily. And so like you'll see the like leash that's kind of drooped to the side, that the trainer's holding that, and then basically I'm just have her on my glove so she could jump off if she wanted to.
Right.
But it was basically an opportunity for everyone to be able to hold the bald eagle so that we could train her to jump on the vice president's glove.
Oh my gosh!
So he could get a photo before he left.
She's big.
Right.
We have one that's bigger.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's insane.
We have another eagle named Kamali, and she's much bigger.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Now, I have a question about the
I love that bird. I'm sorry.
Preservation of these birds. So I do know that a lot of these macaws are endangered species, correct?
Correct.
So how does that play into all of this? Does I know I listened to a little bit of the show, and I know that Animal Kingdom does a ton. How does that conservation with them? Where do they get them from? Where do any of them ever go back in the wild? Or are they just breeding them to keep the species going?
Yeah, so for most of the birds that you see fly at winged encounters specifically have been reproduced by ourselves, and some of them do have what you would see like at a bird from a pet shop. They have like a little metal band. Those birds we've gotten from other breeders so that we, at the time, years ago, we could reintroduce a bloodline to them. Nimbus here, he's our only hyacinth macaw, If you all know the
He's
Dak guy,
beautiful.
thank you. If you know the Dak guy, that's his Instagram handle. He comes to our shows all the time, takes photos of all of us, the birds. He loves Nimbus. He always asks, like, when Seniors is flying, because that's the flock that Nimbus is in. But for instance, Nimbus is from the St. Augustine Alligator Farm here in Florida.
Oh, my dad lives in St. Augustine.
His brother Neptune is still there, and you can go see him on exhibit and stuff. But we have Nimbus. He's our only hyacinth at this show. Not our only, not the only one out of all of them. But
Look at him.
He's a great bird. He is definitely what I would label a handful, but also has taught me a lot about being a good animal trainer. Let me tell you that. So
that's kind of how we feel about Don. He's a bit of a handful, but we love him.
Yeah.
Don's very quiet on there.
Don's got a major delay going on. That's
Don just
I could see that. It's okay.
Hi, Rosie.
Don's having technical problems today, but he still has a direct link to the naughty list for you.
Yeah, you don't want Don to talk to his friend and put you on the naughty list. Don had a good question last night. Don, you had, when we were chatting last night through Messenger, you were mentioning like the age of the birds, right? Like how old they can get.
Well, I did a little research, and I'm like, macaws can live to be about 50 years old.
Yes, we like to say decades and not give a number. Although you can go to zoological facilities and places will be like 80s, 70s, or 80s, and
wow,
like out of all of our experience, even with our most senior staff, like no one has ever met there's Catalina right there, the larger green one. For instance.
Oh
Wow.
We've never met a parrot in their 70s because just like humans, like, and all animals, and a lot of people don't get this, but all animals can get medical problems just like we do at any age.
Yes.
Any age. They're not invincible. They're not going to be free of ailments. Like they get scary things like cancer and many other ailments just like we do. And so those are things that we have to look out for in day-to-day life, in our behaviors and this, that, and the other. But I've never met a bird, or in my colleagues, I've never met one that old. Because typically in the wild, they're going to live in their 10s, maybe 20s, maybe. I have met household animals like pets, companion parrots that are in their 30s. Right. But they already have medical problems. And a lot of the times with these household parrots, it's relationship problems. So it's a lot of skin things, a lot of feather issues. And then they're like, well, what's happening? And I'm like, well, these animals need to live in massive flocks. They're very social animals. So yes, they can live that long. That wouldn't be a false statement. I've just never seen it. But we like to say decades. So the number is kind of broad spectrum, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say that about myself. So I've lived 5 decades.
There you go.
And hold on.
I just wanted to touch on that because it's interesting. So, and I'm curious as to what they do about this at Animal Kingdom. When I was younger, my family had a family.
So do I, Mary.
We call it a family golden-capped conure, which is a small green, sort of like a parrot. I don't know, family, but smaller.
Cheers, Leslie.
We don't buy. We're a rescue family. We don't now, as that I'm older, we're a big rescue family. We rescue all of our pets, and that's fine. Whatever anybody else does, but when we were younger, my aunt had this golden capped conure named Sybil, and we all adored this bird. And my aunt had moved, and she couldn't keep it, so I took it. This was in the 80s to 90s. This is how far back this goes. And I was coming home from high school, and Sybil loved me so much. Her wings were clipped, but she lived outside of her cage, that when I would pull up from high school, like my senior year, she could hear the sound of my old Buick, and I would hear her squawking from outside. And then she would run down from her cage and run across the floor, run up my pants, and then sit here. I will tell you that they are such lovable, smart creatures. She would lay in my neck and fall asleep.
Yeah.
And kind of like purr almost. down the line, I went to college and somebody else had to take Sybil, another aunt and uncle. And that aunt and uncle that took her, my uncle was home not working for a very, very long time. So long story short, she fell in love with my uncle. When he finally went back to work, Sybil went a little bit crazy because, and the vet was telling us that that's because they have to have like a mate-like person. So for a while it was me.
Yeah.
And then for a while it was my uncle. And they need that. So you were talking about the psychology and the behaviors.
She plucked herself bald.
So in the wild, I think, don't they have like a mate? Because what happened was she actually plucked out all her feathers. She was like a little chicken. She didn't pluck out the feathers on her head because she didn't get them.
Well, you can't reach that, but
she plucked out every last feather. It was like a little chicken with a little green capped head, and she lived to be about 30, actually. And we all loved her to pieces. What a great! She used to sit on my shoulder, and we trained her to go, "Give me a ball," and she would go, "Bat."
Yeah,
that's cute.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that they need a mate or a
Kim actually, I plucked all my hair out because Kim left me one day for work. So I tore it all out. Audience wants to know what's in the cup, Aaron. So I'm drinking, and cheers. I have my number one dad at cup. I'm drinking some Stacy's mom. Is it water or
water?
So Disney Bird is actually Mallory, who I was talking about earlier.
Oh, this is Mallory.
Yes,
Mallory.
Yeah. So Mal, if you just joined, I was talking about you earlier, but yes, it is water. We're a big drinking family. We love to have a nice cold beer after work, which is why that they're all choosing you, David.
Yeah, exactly. Which is so Animal Kingdom is our favorite park as a family, and the vibe there is so culturally, it's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
The music. And I can get like, a Safari Amber or something at 10 a.m. and walk around and listen to people playing music, and there's animals, and we love Animal Kingdom. And again, we're big animal lovers. It really is. And people are like, Animal Kingdom is a half-day park. It's like, number one, what's wrong with you? And I could spend my entire trip at Animal Kingdom.
Literally, just grab a beer, walk around, and just explore. There's so many things to see at DAC that you don't even know until you explore. And let me tell you, I've walked in and outside of that park a gajillion times looking for birds, and I have so many different secret passageways to get where I need to be, and I still am finding new stuff all the time.
It's insane.
So I have a question for you. I have trivia for you, Aaron, about Animal Kingdom.
Okay, I'll try my best.
Do you know where the smallest hidden...
Do you know the Muffin Man?
You know where the smallest hidden Mickey is in Animal Kingdom?
No.
Actually, the smallest hidden Mickey in all of the parks.
No, I was actually looking for that a couple months ago because we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, let me see if I can look it up. And I could not find it. And I don't know if I was just looking it up wrong or whatever, but...
Do you want to know where it is?
Yes, please.
So we know.
So when you come off of Safari, and you're like walking up like the little walkway or whatever, and then there's like a little stand.
Little kiosk there with
like, there's not much there. There's like pins, water, and like...
some stuffed animals.
Okay.
There's a little tiny stand like in the corner. It's not even always there. And on the stand's, whatever you call it, counter, it's all like tiny little like pebbles and stones. And it's it's a little tiny stone in there. Yeah.
It's like a mosaic on the counter of
whoever is working there. Sometimes I need help finding it because I always go to see it, but I usually can find it now. But if you really can't find it, but if you look in there, you will find it. If you ask the cast member that works at that stand, they know where it is.
Okay, I'll have to go ask them.
Yeah.
T9 wants to know if you know where the hidden Baloo is. No, but I did see Baloo at Animal Kingdom one day and gave him a high five. I'll tell you that much.
Yes,
I was excited. Yeah. What you work in a theme park, but the theme is animals. So like, do you not only get to interact with the birds? Are you behind the scenes of like all the other animals? Do you get to see, because there's so much space at Animal Kingdom people don't get to see, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of backstage space. The park is massive. There's even on Kilimanjaro Safari, there are barns inside the ride path. So like, let's say the whole, like you have your whole safari map here, and then there's like the ride path. But inside there's barns where animals are able to go, and keepers are working and providing husbandry for animals. Out of all of the backstage stuff, so I walk by the tigers all the time.
Wow.
Been able to see the tigers in their barn a few years ago, but I walk by the tigers all the time. I'm very close with a lot of the hoofstock keepers in Maharaja Jungle Trek, where the water buffalo are, and like where the cranes are, and the geese.
Hey, Ronnie.
Actually, one of my old teammates is one of the keepers there now, so he just got that job as a cast member, and so I'm very close with them, so I get to like see stuff back there and see training and meet animals and stuff. But I've seen the gorilla barn. I've seen Gino up close. That animal.
Oh yeah,
incredible.
Yeah.
Tell you. So I've seen the family troop in the barn. I've gotten to see the lions. I did some training with the warthogs before.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really cool. I wish I was able to show those photos because it was so cool. But
did you stay downwind?
I did not. I was right there with them. I could not get away. I was like, I'll take any repercussions.
Yeah, right. No, I would lose my mind. I mean, like Kim's. I mean, I've had animals my whole life. We're animal lovers. Don's got dogs. We have a dog and a cat, and we just lost a cat on Memorial Day. We said goodbye to Mowgli, who was, named. Kim found him and rescued him 2 years ago, and named him after, of course, the character in the movie. And I would go insane, like being around all these animals. It's like just going on safari for us is crazy, but I couldn't imagine like.
David, we would bring them home. That's the problem.
That's our issue. I'd be like, a bomb tabakia. Let's bring it. Yeah, we are any animal we see.
And we also have an outdoor cat. So technically, we had 4, and we just lost our sweet, precious Mowgli.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Thanks. He lived. We rescued him from literally dying on the streets by himself 2 years ago, and he was very old. I thought he was young because he was super tiny, but he was actually very old. So we gave him 2 years of like absolute love.
Family.
There you go. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
And so at least like when he passed, he knew that he was so loved. So
yeah, good.
And what came up as a memory? Well, I was looking through your photos, Kim, today to get photos for the show, and when we were on the safari in April, the lion.
That was weird.
It was crazy because the driver said she's like, I do 20 rides a day, and that's the closest I've ever seen the lion. He was incredibly close. So, which is great about the safari.
And he was like almost trying to get to us.
So we know that there's like, we don't see it, but there's a moat, right?
He wanted to jump down, and I'm such a big cat person that I was like, see, he wants
I want to hug the lion.
That I give really well.
You want to know a fun kind of behind the scenes thing? So I met those lions, and that's Dakari, the big male. And they were like, Dakari likes to spray, so if he turns around, move.
Right.
And we get to his holding backstage, and he immediately turns, aims towards me, and she's like, you might want to move. And I run and seconds away before I'm being peed on by him.
Right, all over.
Literally.
They mark their territory just like.
Well, yeah, and it's cat urine. So it was the beginning of my shift that day. It was like early in the morning before the park even opened. They weren't even on HAB yet, and I was almost getting peed on by a lion and had to probably would have just went home.
Yeah, exactly. I need to go change, guys.
Yeah.
You see them, they're loose, they're out. They're not like chained up or anything.
So they have a backstage holding where they're able to either separate them or they can live together, and they do live together in what I would call different stalls, and it's just like any other zoological facility that would have. But these animals are massive. Like they are huge. I can't even put it into words besides just emphasizing when I'm saying it, how big they are. Just the lioness alone stands as tall as I am, and I'm 5'8".
Wow. Are you kidding?
They are huge animals.
Yeah, so you don't see them. You see them from a little bit of a distance from the, in the ride vehicle. But yeah, that's I'm 5'7", right? Like, so that's taller than me.
Yes, they are incredibly big animals, and to see them on the safari, I don't know why, but it just totally changes the perspective of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're far. Yes, I get it. We're far away, and I was literally 2 feet away from this cat, but I'm like, wow, incredible. Yeah. But with all the animals at Walt Disney World, especially, well, all of them, because we have the Seas too, which is still animal related. They get, honestly, at Walt Disney World, get the highest level of care. I know a couple of the vets at Disney's Animal Kingdom. They are amazing people. They will be there for their animals in an instant, and everything is top notch for AZA, because we're an AZA facility, so Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and that's the top accreditation that you can have. And Disney provides literally the most perfect care that you could ever provide for an animal. Besides the relationships that they create with their keepers and trainers, it's just the care alone that they get, and their vet staff is great,
top notch. Oh, you know what I just realized? I think now, real quick, if anybody's interested in winning the Black Panther wall fan and the 9 Realms pods that go with it, remember, this is mine. You get a brand new one and brand new pods. All you have to do to enter is right now in the comments, just put in Wakanda, and we're going to take all your names. We're going to put them in a little spinny wheel, and then whoever's name comes out, they win. It goes like that too. It makes that noise. Yeah. But yeah, so this is a lot of fun. I keep it in the basement down here with my favorite pods in it, and it's just a plug-in, really cute. Wakanda forever. So type Wakanda in the comments if you want to be entered to win. I forgot about that. I have so many more questions.
Well, I do know. Where do all the animals sleep? Like, do they go to sleep on the wild?
Standing up.
Yeah.
All of them go to sleep in the wild, or do they go to sleep like? Do they have to go into something?
Like back to their pen?
Yeah. So actually, most of the animals, specifically on the safari, all the birds are home in aviaries every night. But besides, like, specifically saying like safari animals, because they are in the open, most of them actually sleep on habitat. They sleep out in the yard. Yeah. So on Savannah, in their big area, they do all that stuff. They leave them out.
The giraffes, I guess, have to, because where are they going to put the giraffes?
Yeah. So I mean, they have a barn that's able to house them all. Mind you, we have 20-something giraffes at Animal Kingdom, but like for wildebeest, the hippos, a lot of them, they just stay on hab. They just shift.
I mean, they would in the wild. So,
and what's even cool too is it sounds crazy, but it places are worse, like where these animals would come from in the wild. But like for storms and stuff, they let the hippos ride out the storm on habitat. They don't put them in the barn, and it's a lot of it's for their safety, because depending on how long we would be in our lockdown, or hurricanes here, they can't support their weight. So them being in the water is actually safer for them, because they can. Their body's not struggling and going through a lot of pain, and I would say anxiety too, from just like having to hold yourself up if you're a large animal like that. So most of those animals live out on hab almost most of the time. Like they'll bring them in, feed them, and back out you go. So
that's what Kim does with me in a storm. She puts me in the tub. She's like, "Here, I'll support your weight, you fatty."
Oh my goodness.
You're terrible.
Yeah, earlier today, she's like, "Tomorrow's Father's Day, fatty."
That's so funny.
Get in the tub.
Wait, hold on a second.
We have a good sense of humor.
AJ 46172, because they put in for the drawing, but some of these
right here
are new, so they're not on now.
Oh yeah, we won't know. So So so
I
this
can
is coming
tell-
into
I
YouTube.
can tell Aaron
Yeah.
if one of these people wins, he knows them. Obviously, he knows his mom. And Carol Gale,
yeah.
is Carol Gale part of your crew, Aaron?
Part of no,
No.
Carol Gale is not. Carol
No, she's
Gale,
part of our crew.
right? Part of our crew and
Mhm.
part
And Steve
of
Browning is
that
part of our crew.
world.
None is part of our crew,
So-
but Leslie and Jacob and AJ.
AJ46172. If you do win, we won't know who you are. So you can always message me and let me know who you are if you don't want to. But this way we know who you are. So if you do win, we can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh, wait, Alfred
Oh,
Johnson.
that's Jacob's dad.
Yeah, there you go. Hi, Jacob's dad.
Which Alfred and my dad were best friends. Well, they still are, but
Wow, that's
like,
so crazy.
childhood best friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leslie Tapia, Wakanda for P. All right, PA for Pa.
For Pa.
Right? Not
my
for
dad.
Pennsylvania, for Pa.
No, for
Wakanda
Pa.
for Pobo. So Kim's writing down names.
Leslie's got a lot of Wakandas there. She's got the whole family in
She
here.
does.
Yeah, well,
She's
she's
everyone.
entering for everybody, which is totally allowed.
Love that.
Yeah. So one of my favorite animals on the safari are actually the painted dogs, but you don't hold on one second. Don. You don't get to see them that great from the safari. I wish there was a better view. Sorry, Don, go ahead.
No problem. I wanted to ask Aaron, you talked about your drive. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What would be the
That's
next step?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And my family all knows this, but I am slowly in the process of starting flight lessons to become a professional pilot.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. I want to, instead of fly birds,
gonna fly
I want
with
to
the
fly.
birds.
There
You
go.
want to fly, right?
Those
Yeah.
birds really inspired you.
Yeah, I love flying. I love that the birds get to fly, and I wish I could be
Yeah.
a bird because they could just do it whenever they want. But that is my next thing. So hopefully, I will be either done with flight lessons and working towards being a professional pilot, or in the world like that. I just got my medical exam done by the FAA just the other day, so I got that certificate. So now it's just starting school, and so hopefully that'll be in a couple months that I can be able to start doing that.
So you want to fly like commercial
Are you gonna
airlines?
go
You want to be
fixed wing?
Wow, great.
Yep, fixed wing. Do not like helicopters.
No.
But I
I
do
love
want to do fixed wing.
helicopters.
Yeah, I mean they're great. Don't get me wrong. I know a couple really good helicopter pilots, but it's not my cup of tea. But I will go hopefully do fixed wing for the airlines. That's my goal. But you know what? That could change in the future where I would want to fly. But I want to fly for sure. Be a pilot is what I'm gonna do.
Oh, you are
So-
going to do that. That's great.
Yeah. Well, you
Maybe
put your
one
mind
day
to it.
you're a
Yeah,
pilot.
like
From Jersey
know.
to Florida.
yeah, that would be crazy. Like, so we saw Aaron, right? Like working with the birds at Animal Kingdom, and maybe one day he'll be the pilot of the plane that flies us to Disney World.
To
Well,
Disney
you know,
World. There you go.
You know,
Right?
the
Can you
typical
imagine?
pilot, how the pilots go, this
Oh, come on, so
then you
I'm
can't
your
That's
pilot,
good,
Aaron
that's
Tapia.
good.
Yeah, right.
35 degrees and depending on
But
wind.
except Aaron will kind of be like a pirate pilot, and he'll have a bird on his shoulder as he's flying.
Flying. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mallory's saying that you wanted to do it for so long. So proud of you, Aaron. Yeah, that's really cool. So,
mhm.
so is something you've always? She's saying that's something you've always wanted to do. To have the birds kind of like the fact that they fly. That's inspired you, like even further with this. Is that like something because you just want to you want to fly? I mean, you want to actually take flight.
Yeah. Yes and no. I've always loved aviation and travel. And like I remember always looking to the sky, looking at airplanes, like looking at that stuff. I didn't really know about it. I just knew what an airplane was. I didn't know the difference of them. But growing up, and especially COVID recently, was my big jump into it, because thousands of people on this country alone got laid off or furloughed.
Right.
And that was a possibility for me too. And so I was like, what's my next thing? And I was listening to an aviation podcast, and they really inspired me to want to pursue it, because I always thought you had to be good at math, or you had to, do these things very well. And then these people were having similar stories of like what my path is in life. And I was like, you know what? That sounds just like how my story is. So I could probably just do this. Like there's so many things out there now that help pilots with those problems that a lot of people think they would have, like mathematics and things like that. And so once I listened to that, I got inspired, and that was going to be my route if I got laid off. Now that didn't happen, so I wanted to ride it out for a few more years to where we're at now. And so now it's kind of really going into fruition that it's going to be happening. So it's crazy. I'm excited though.
Yeah, that's really great. I mean, you put your mind to it, and you're doing what you're doing right now. And I mean, we always tell our son, whatever you put your mind to, you can do. It's like you just have to really focus on it. I remember, I've told the story before. It's really sad though. When I was a kid, I always wanted to fly. So I would run down the block all day long and jump off the curb and think I was going to take flight. It's so sad. I never took flight, but I literally wanted to fly like a bird. Right? You know what I mean? Kim's laughing at me because I've told this story before. There's this dumb kid in Roswell Park on Sheridan Avenue running down the block all day long, jumping off the curb into the street. I'm lucky I didn't get hit by a car, literally. Like,
yeah.
Oh, take flight. Like, I really would have took flight. So
yeah. Most of my dreams when I sleep are me being able to fly, kind of like Peter Pan, but not like like I have to like flap my arms type of thing. But like most of my dreams when I sleep are me flying.
Wow.
I guess there's something about that, but
yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You must be an air sign. What sign are you?
I'm air. I'm a Gemini air.
So is David. You know, I want to be a mermaid. I want to live in the water, and I'm Cancer. So there you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I just had my birthday last week.
Your element.
Yeah, happy birthday. That's right.
Thank you.
My birthday is actually Monday. Yeah, so it's something with Geminis that we want to fly.
I get it.
I'm like a
it's
bird.
Right.
Erica, you know, we couldn't have a show without me singing, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
love that.
Yeah. I feel like there's like 5 more hours we could do talking about not just the birds, but all the animals at Animal Kingdom, because again, it's our favorite park. Yeah, I know. I mean, Don and his wife Marie are always, you know, they take their trips and stuff, and they were with us in April. And there's so much more that goes into Animal Kingdom. I want to just tell people, if you like Disney, you like animals, check out the magic behind Disney's Animal Kingdom. It really is a great series.
Absolutely.
You know, I watch a lot of like animal shows, like, you know, I'll watch like Behind the Zoo, which is about like the Bronx Zoo and stuff. So I'm always watching shows like that.
Those shows.
Yeah. And the one for Disney on Disney Plus, the magic of animals, of Disney's Animal Kingdom is not a disappointer. And again, you get to learn about not just the macaws, but all the different animals in the care Aaron was talking about. It seems top notch.
Yeah. Season 2 is definitely better than season 1. In the aspects that it shows a huge vulnerability for Disney. Because I feel like there's a general stigma that like Disney can't do wrong, but we're all humans, and everyone that works in this park caring for these animals are humans too. And so like I was talking about earlier, the animals need our help. And so there's a lot of veterinary stuff. If you watch it, you'll see Dr. Jen. Love her. I actually wrote out Hurricane Ian with her.
Oh, wow.
And she is an absolutely amazing veterinarian. You'll see Dr. Betsy as well. Know her. She's incredible. But there's a lot of vet stuff that might be a little scary when you think about it. But it shows that there is that kind of drive to help the animals when they are in need. Because we are there. We fight for them. We have to do what's best for them. And the vet staff really shows it in season 2. So I love that season 1,000% more than the first one.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it.
From the vets on that show is that, I mean, the animals are really lucky, and it's great to know that Disney is not just a company on Magic Kingdom and this and that. Like the expertise that they were given, and even some of the operations and surgeries that they were doing for some of those animals, you would never see in real life, they would
Mhm.
down. I mean, I remember thinking like that's got to cost an arm and a leg, and they were doing so much from what I saw, and I
It's
love
very
that
good.
about Disney.
Yeah, it's not like Disney's just like, oh, we'll have like we have a park with rides, we'll just stick some animals in it. Like the care that goes
No,
into
they
it,
seem to really.
like Aaron was saying, it's top notch. And if you watch the series, you'll see that. And just visit Animal Kingdom again. I mean, we love it. You know, doesn't mean you have to love it, but it's got everything that we like in it.
Yes.
So, and it's got Aaron. So, yeah.
I wish I was in the show, but they didn't ask me.
We'll get you in.
There you go. Hey, I am well known around the park just for doing my shows on the
Yeah.
stage, so I'm good with that.
We're gonna let everyone know to ask for Aaron next time they're at Animal Kingdom, either if it's Winged Encounters or Feather Friends in Flight.
Mhm.
Again, if you haven't already done it, you want to win the Black Panther Marvel Sensi wall fan, enter Wakanda in the comments for your chance to enter. You're not getting mine though. I feel like we need to have Aaron back at some point in the future. This was so much fun.
Absolutely. We could talk for literally hours about all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I feel like we could just talk about the animals and what goes into it for like forever.
Mhm.
Maybe in the fall, sometime
Yeah.
in the fall, Aaron can update us on what's going on and what he's doing, and you know, somewhere around autumn.
Yeah, I would love to be back. This was great.
Awesome.
And I
Yeah,
definitely want to hear about an update on his pilot lessons.
yeah,
Oh.
definitely.
Yes, we'll definitely share with you, Don, for sure.
So, happy Father's Day
if
actually
you
out there
see a
for all of
big
our dads
guy-
too.
With a little blonde coming at you in the Animal Kingdom, don't be afraid.
I won't.
Don't be
We're not
afraid
gonna
of the
take
little
all your
blonde, actually. Yeah, Don, how tall are you?
I'm about 6'1".
Yeah, Don's 6'1", and Marie is so Kim's 5 foot. Marie is shorter than Kim.
Marie's like 4'11".
Oh my
4'11",
goodness.
and her J's are bunny. So
So
yeah,
cute. Yeah.
yeah.
And she go.
She's
Go.
shorter than that, right, Don?
She's
Quick.
4'8".
4'8". There
Wow.
you go. Yeah. So the lioness would tower over Marie. Just go in a cooler month. We want to wish all of our Disney dads and our furry pet friend dads a happy Father's Day for tomorrow. If you tuned in tonight and you're a dad of some sort, doesn't matter how, happy Father's Day to you. We want to thank Aaron for being a guest tonight on Now That's Disney's Disney Net Live, and everybody tuning in. We love having you here in the chat, and we love to give you a show that hopefully you enjoy. And Aaron, don't go anywhere. We're going to play our outro, and then we'll say goodbye afterwards. But everybody, our outro's coming up. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you. Here's our
Bye.
outro.